company, and now is the president and CEO of Job Creators Network. We welcome him back on our guest line. How have you been, Alfredo?
Mike, I've been great. So wonderful to talk to you again.
Well, great to catch up with you. I was reading this morning about how United Technologies has announced today that they're going to take advantage of the changes in the tax law and invest $15 billion in the U.S., repatriating cash from overseas to create 35,000 jobs over the next 5 years. I know as the president and CEO of Job Creators Network, that is music to Alfredo Ortiz's ears.
Yeah, Mike, you couldn't say it any better. It absolutely is music. And, you know, we're hearing a lot of the stories from these large companies that are doing the hiring and stuff like that, especially, you know, repatriating funds and stuff, which basically is a fancy term for bringing cash that was out, overseas, bringing it back to this country to invest in. But we're hearing stories and stories and hundreds of stories from small business owners across the country as well that are doing the same thing, investing back into their country, investing back in the American dream. It's alive and well again.
I mean, and I have to, I always hate dragging you into a political conversation, but listen, Nancy Pelosi infamously said crumbs, talking about crumbs on these tax cuts. Americans are realizing very, very palpable, tangible savings. Jobs are being created. Companies are hiring. Wages are going up. I mean, frankly, there wasn't one Democrat who voted for this tax law. I mean, that's a pretty stunning thing to remember as people think about who they're going to vote for in November.
Mike, it really is stunning and frankly unbelievable. I mean, and when you think about the crumbs that she's talking about, this just shows how out of touch Nancy Pelosi is. And on this one, Mike, I am happy to join in and have some words on this one because the average worker is going to save roughly about $1,200 more per year. And that's equivalent. That's an extra mortgage payment for, average middle class families, the car down payment. It's a whole year's worth of cable bills, phone bills, family vacation. A middle class, an average middle class family can do a lot with $1,200 more a year. And that's just in some cases a bonus or some of the changes to the tax laws. But you've got wage increases on top of that as well. In some cases, these things are going from $10 to $12 to $15. These are all real positive impacts. And how Nancy Pelosi can sit there and say that this is really nothing for your average American, is not doing anything for the economy, I just don't understand where she's coming from. It's just mind-boggling.
And while we're on the subject, I mean, let's make sure we state something factually as well. The Democrats are on record as saying they want to repeal these tax cuts. They don't want these tax cuts, and if they take power, if they get in power, they're going to want to replace it. They're going to want to overturn it. They don't, and that's something that should be a wake-up call for every American because that is a fact. Just look it up.
It absolutely is. It's stunning, Mike, to think, and I know you've been doing this for so many more years than I have, but have you ever seen a situation like this where somebody actually thinks that a good political strategy is to tell the American people, hey, vote for us and we will raise your taxes?
Right, precisely.
It's crazy. I mean, usually we just hear all the free stuff that they're going to give away, right?
I know. But honestly, the disconnect is extraordinary because you're right. I take calls and hear from people from all walks of life all over the country every day, and people are thrilled with the idea of lower taxes, not higher taxes. But this is that big difference, that distinction between, frankly, Republican candidates and Democrat candidates coming up in November. Tell us about the Tax Cuts Works bus tour, because everybody knows how fond I am of telling everybody to go to taxcutswork.com. The calculator is on there where you can calculate exactly what your tax savings are going to be. You can write a letter to Congress, but I also know there's a Tax Cuts Works bus tour going.
It is, and it's really exciting. Mike, if you remember, we started this almost 3 years ago, this idea of going around the country talking to small business owners with our Bring Small Businesses Back tour. And this is actually our third year. Last year was Tax Cuts Now, but this year is our taxcutswork.com tour, and we just completed the first leg of our tour. We made stops in Virginia, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Arizona. Some of those were actually with the vice president. Turnout was good. The most important takeaway, though, of all of that is that small business owners overwhelmingly support the tax cuts, despite what we see in the mainstream media. They are saying what they're doing with these things, which is saying, bottom line, reinvesting back in their economy, back into businesses. And they're increasing wages, right, for their workers. They're giving bonuses, offering better benefits, creating jobs. I mean, what is there not to like about this? Again, I go back to what you just started about Pelosi. They are on the wrong side of history on this one.
You bet they are. Alfredo Ortiz, I hope you know how much I treasure and value our partnership here on the Mike Gallagher Show. You guys are doing incredible work, and it's great to see such good news right now, and it's just going to keep getting better. I want everybody to go to taxcutswork.com and support the efforts of the Job Creators Network, because you guys are incredible. Keep fighting the good fight, Alfredo.
Thank you very much.
Great having you on the program. All the best. God bless. Hey.